What did you do when someone tried to throw out your dog? Throw out the mutt or leave the apartment, you can't have them both, my new landlord told me coldly, as if my dog or the home I grew up in could be solved by tossing a coin. I tried to explain to him that my dog Mufasa wasn't just a pet. He was a medical alert dog who detected my seizures 30 minutes before they happened. But the landlord just shrugged. New landlord, new rules? Maybe if you wanted to set your own rules, you should have bought out the building like I did. If I could, I would. It's been my home since I was 5, and while it wasn't exactly luxurious, it was the only one I could afford. So getting evicted now meant being homeless, but kicking out my own service dog wasn't an option either. Look, I really need him. My seizures have been getting worse, and then leave. Why are you making this so much more difficult than it has to be? Your personal problems are not mine, so deal with it within 30 days or get evicted, he said, pushing me out of his office. But I wasn't ready to give up. I knocked on his office and had him sit through a cute little dog show, demonstrating his alerts and other tricks that showed just how disciplined Mufasa was. Still a dog. Still has to go. I frowned. The next day, I showed up with a detailed medical history. He's never bitten anyone, gets along with kids, and see? No barking, no jumping, no noise. He yawned. There's a first time for everything. I'd rather not risk getting mauled. I tried to beg him, even bribe him, saying I'd pay extra upfront each month in cash, but he just chuckled. Boy, I have money. Why would I take more of yours? Nothing worked at all. No matter how much I tried to convince him, even with a petition signed by everyone in the building, he refused. That night, I cried while searching for good foster homes and animal shelters for my dog to stay instead, but I couldn't do it. Not after everything he did for me, saving my life each time a seizure started. So a few days before I got evicted, I made my decision. I was writing, I choose to keep my dog on the eviction response form when Mufasa started going crazy. Not his seizure alert, something different. He was pawing at my door, whining at the ceiling, then pulling my sleeve hard enough to rip it. Mufasa, what's wrong, buddy? He dragged me into the hallway, up a flight of stairs. He ran inside a unit with the door half opened and found an elderly man sprawled on the kitchen floor, unconscious. Sir? Sir? Nothing. I grabbed my phone. 911? I need an ambulance. I stayed with him, checking his pulse like I'd learned from my own emergencies. The paramedics burst in 6 minutes later. How long has he been down? I don't know. My dog found him. One paramedic whistled. Lucky dog. Another half hour, and this guy's toast. The landlord burst through the hospital doors, actually looking worried instead of looking like the typical rich jerk that I always saw. Where is he? Where's my dad? He asked frantically. He entered the room, shocked to see me and my dog right by his side. What happened? What did your stupid dog do now? That dog saved me, his dad suddenly said, eyes opening slightly to look at us. Now I know you put that rule up for us, but it might be time to reconsider it. The landlord sighed, collapsing into the visitor's chair. I sat beside him silently, thinking of the right words to say when he suddenly spoke first. I moved them in 2 months ago, hoping to keep them near. Mom's heart's been acting up and dad keeps having these diabetic episodes. I banned pets because I thought, Mom gets stressed by barking, and he rubbed his face. I've been so terrified of this exact thing happening that I wouldn't be around in time to help them. He wiped away his tears. But you were around. How did you even know? I smiled and patted Mufasa's head. It wasn't me. It was my dog, the same one you've been trying to throw out all month. He shook his head. Not any longer. That dog needs to stay. I'd also love for you to stay, if you're still willing. I sighed. All this stress about eviction or getting rid of my dog, and all he needed to do was save people? Well, I had no complaints anymore. I shook his hand and agreed on it.